Welcome to the Lounge Lizards podcast. It's so good to have you here. It's a leisure and lifestyle podcast founded on our love of premium cigars, as well as whiskey, travel, food, work, and whatever else we feel like getting into. My name is Gizmo, and tonight I'm joined by Rooster, Senator, Grinder, and Bam Bam. And our plan is to smoke a cigar, drink some tequila, talk about life, and of course, have some laughs. So take this as your 61st official invitation to join us and become a card-carrying lounge lizard. Plan to meet us here once a week. We're going to smoke a New World cigar tonight, share our thoughts on it, and give you our formal lizard rating. We discuss this cigar's very unique presentation, how the Wonder Mobile restaurant has changed our lounge life, TAA Release Disappointment, and the truth about Ticketmaster, all among a variety of other things for the next hour. So sit back, get your favorite drink, light up a cigar, and enjoy as we pair Tapatio Excelencia Tequila Extra Añejo with the Leaf by Oscar Maduro in Toro. A boutique Toro tonight on the pod. Very interesting presentation. A cigar from Leaf by Oscar. It's called the Villadoras Maduro. Again, in Toro. 6x52. But you wouldn't know that, boys, by looking at the presentation here, because this is unlike anything I've ever held in my hand.
No, it looks like you personally rolled this, because this thing looks ridiculous.
This is my new cigar company.
This is Grandpa Oscar rolled this in the barn before he shipped it off in the boxes, because this is a
after 6 glasses of tequila. I mean, Christ.
Real interesting presentation. So it's a cigar wrapped, I guess, in a tobacco leaf, a dried tobacco leaf, with a... What kind of material would you say
like
that
is?
It's
a burlap.
Like a burlap?
It's burlap,
Yeah, it's a burlap
band
over that tobacco leaf that's on the cigar that we're actually going to smoke.
Yeah, it's the only vegan cigar out there.
You know what I wonder is, I wonder how many guys have taken this just as it is, clipped the top, lit it, and then smoked through the burlap band. I mean, it's definitely happened.
I read that actually people have done that.
Wow.
This should come with instructions.
I mean, all right, so let's unwrap this thing. Take the burlap off. This is really, really exciting, guys.
So you just pull the band, right?
Starting the new year off right.
And it'll come apart nicely. Should anyway. And it leaves a nice mess.
Oh, that's a demerit.
So this is for the listener to give you the experience, ASMR by Lounge Lizards experience of unwrapping this thing.
So I've had this cigar before.
We're trying to give them the ASMR experience, Bam Bam.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We need bigger ashtrays.
Although I appreciate the concept, the delivery is lacking with this fucking mess I'm making here.
For the record, do not appreciate the concept.
I have tobacco leaf all over my
everywhere.
shirt.
This stuff's going. This is insane.
All right, so now
What's interesting is the inner band is also burlap.
It's all the inner band's burlap, but the construction on this
It's super rustic.
is very rugged, rustic.
Yeah.
They continue with the theme, it seems.
Yeah.
So it's another burlap band on the actual cigar, which looks really nice.
It's a nicely made cigar. Kind of rustic, very toothy.
It feels packed.
It's very dense.
It feels very packed.
Very dense. Now, when I look at this does not look like a Toro to me.
No.
It's listed as a Toro 6x52. It looks more like a Corona Extra,
Which I like.
I like
Which
Coronas.
I like.
It feels really good in the hand. This size, I love this size.
I'm actually kind of relieved in a way.
The smell. It's
It's
funny.
Not much on the nose.
It smells like
a little earthy.
Yeah, it's like earthy tobacco.
It's okay.
smell barnyardy, but not in a hay way, but more of in a manure way.
Mm.
Yeah, there's
Downwind.
like a mustiness.
Yeah.
To it.
Yes, musty is good.
So are you guys going to leave the burlap band on it, or
Yeah,
are you
leave it
taking
on.
it off?
Yeah,
Leave it on.
till it heats up.
I'll be honest. I hate how the burlap.
I don't like
band
how it feels.
in the hand.
That's what I was going to.
It gives me the heebie-jeebies when it feels like someone like, you know how people when they scratch their nails on a surface and it makes that creak. That's what it feels like.
I don't get that. It feels a little dirty, kind of.
that's
unclean. It's unclean.
All right, boys, let's cut this thing.
So you like that, Bam?
Well,
You like it dirty?
occasionally.
The band does come off pretty easily, though.
All right, shall we cut?
Got it. My draw is wide open, though. Thank God. I was very nervous because it took a lot to cut that.
Same here.
Sure, you could just unravel some more.
More of a mess being made.
Old draw's kind of sweet. It's nice.
Oh, that is.
I have, by the way, I have tobacco leaf from unwrapping it. I have it all over my shirt.
Yeah.
Like this is like
You're a slob.
Yeah, welcome to the club.
all over it.
Mm,
The cold draw is pleasant.
it is. Very pleasant. I'm getting dried raisin, a little dried fruit, maybe.
Aren't the raisins always dry?
Mm,
Have you ever had a wet raisin?
Touche.
yes, when they're in my cereal.
All right, boys, let's light this thing. The Leaf by Oscar
Can you turn off Rooster's mic, please?
Via Doris in Toro, which doesn't look like a Toro, but it is. Again, it's 52 ring gauge by 6 inches. Boutique little company. They don't have a ton of cigars.
They got a lot of reviews though.
Got a lot of review. Oh, yeah, I'll tell you about that in a second. I was cracking up. I am optimistic now after we've cut this and tried the cold draw.
Wow.
What do you guys get on the? I got like a little spice on the cold draw, right?
A little bit.
I just got like dried fruit. It
Weird,
wasn't
like a cinnamony thing.
No, dried fruit for me.
I kind of like it.
It's pretty cool.
I'm surprised.
It's pretty cool on the light. It's definitely medium full, but the flavor is really
It's
interesting.
really strong. I like the flavor.
It is strong.
I like that.
Oh, it's good. The retro hail is sharp.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
And I was going to say it's piercing, actually.
Piercing is a good word.
Yeah.
This is a great winter cigar.
It is. It's
feel like
perfect for the
it's-
cold weather.
It's really chewy.
It'll hold up in a cold weather outside.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's got like habanero spice.
Oh God, yeah.
And for you to be
Right.
I feel
saying
like
that,
I feel like I just
Right at
had
the
some
beginning.
horseradish on like a roast beef sandwich.
yeah, it's definitely got some oomph to it.
I am getting a little canoeing going on here.
No, mine's perfect. Look at that.
Interesting flavors so far.
So far, very good for me. The aroma is oddly different, very different from the.
It's peanutty.
Yeah, it's like a.
I get a peanutty aroma off the smoke.
That's a good one. You're on point tonight, Ben.
I think I didn't sleep, so I'm good.
Yeah, roasted nuts, pine nuts. Well, this is I'm very surprised.
Yeah, me too.
So the cigar is Nicaraguan wrapper, and it has Ecuadorian filler and binder, which is interesting.
Where's the leaf from that it was wrapped in?
I don't
It's
know
from
I'm curious.
it's Trenton, New Jersey.
but as Grinder was saying, great combustion. I mean, I think all of us have.
Oh yeah.
We're all kind of like chimneys right now.
Yeah,
And just
sure.
when you light it, you get like a blast of spice,
Yeah, it's nice.
right?
This has a richness that reminds me of like the Liga 9 we did.
Very good comparison. Yeah.
So, by the way, so I was going on their website. I was trying to get some information on these cigars today. This could be the worst website I've ever navigated. Like it's up there with Promo Cigar.
Promo's
It-
better now.
Well, Promo did a nice job revamping. I mean, it's that level quality. So I look at it and I'm like, oh, I wonder what people are saying about this cigar, because Rooster went and picked up, these cigars for us tonight. And I see that it has 38,600 reviews. And I'm like,
That is it sounds like a controversial
This
cigar.
is the most popular cigar.
I mean, that's the
in
biggest
history
cigar.
of
That's the
cigars.
biggest cigar in history. And this is like a little boutique brand. So I'm like, what in God's name caused 38,600 reviews to be put on the Leaf by Oscar? And then I click on it. I'm looking at it. And I don't know if their webmaster messed up, somebody messed up, but the entire list of reviews on this cigar is just a bunch of people arguing about pharmaceutical drugs. Like fighting, like internet fighting about pharmaceutical drugs and pharmaceutical companies. Not a single thing about a cigar.
Are we sure we know what's in this?
I mean, they are like yelling at each other. They're like tagging each other's names and stuff. I don't know. The webmaster must have messed up the code or something.
That's
but
awful.
You can't.
They
You
pulled
can't,
the wrong
you can't
one.
bang on for 38,000 reviews though, just on pharmaceutical drugs.
they
They did it.
they were doing it. Yeah, absolutely. So what do you guys think so far?
I like it so far.
Mhm.
Pretty good.
Yeah. And like Senator said, it will
Definitely
up
a
to
full
a winter
like
smoke.
like a full flavored cigar right from the beginning.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes, but
Yeah.
I mean, for right now, a lot of spice.
How did you get inspired for this cigar? Like, where did you even?
So I walked into the store and I was asking the guy, like, what do you recommend? So he goes, try the Plasencia. I said, no. Then he said, why don't you try the Rocky Patel? I said, no, no. And then he said, why don't you try the Padilla? I said, no, no, no. And then he walked over to this cigar and he's like, a lot of guys like this cigar. I'm like, wow, it's different. I've never seen a cigar like that.
Hmm.
Like, what is this thing? Like, why is it like this? Like, no, you peel that off and there's a nice cigar in there and it's full flavored. And if you like Padrones and Nicaraguan cigars, you would most likely like it. And there were a couple of guys who were sitting there, and one guy was actually smoking this cigar, but in a different size. He was smoking a cigar that's called the Big Johnson.
Oh boy.
What's
And
the
it was
ring
a
gauge on that?
60 ring gauge.
Yeah, I don't
80?
know if it was 60. Well, it might have been like a 54, but like, long.
Ufa.
And he was like, this is a great cigar. I said, well, if you guys recommend, maybe we'll give it a shot.
How much?
And-
Yeah, how much was
How
this?
much were these?
This was $84 per stick. No, 13 bucks.
$13 a stick. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm sure you can find it cheaper than
Oh
that.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So it was, I mean, it definitely looked unique. I mean, it's got a cigar
Yeah.
leaf,
Tell you what.
dried up leaf wrapped up around it.
That's a great price for what I'm smoking right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
I agree.
and this is a Maduro.
Yeah, I'm glad you grabbed the Maduro because I
Yeah.
think that this is probably going to be the most interesting. We always talk about previewing though. Where it's at right now, I'm not quite sure if this is going to
Sustain.
sustain
Yeah.
or improve throughout the entire cigar. Like
Mhm.
I'm preparing myself to get disappointed real fast with this.
An ammonia shock maybe later on.
Do you look at a glass half full or half empty?
I look at a cigar half empty as of right this moment.
I have no expectations just because just the presentation of this was so ridiculous. I thought that the light was going to be terrible. And this is very full flavored.
Yeah.
This has a lot of notes that we like in New World sticks. So I'm optimistic because I'm already enjoying this more than I thought I ever could.
I'm loving this cigar.
It's
actually.
good. I will say I don't think it's as refined or as smooth, and it doesn't deliver like like a Padron does, like an Exclusiva. It does not, but it has its merits. Absolutely. For $13.
There's an odd to me coming off the head of the cigar where you're drawn. The aroma is a little odd to me.
Yeah.
I don't want to use the word chemical, but I don't love how it smells. I don't love the aroma on it.
I was saying that earlier. I think that the aroma is actually quite different from the flavor.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that is. I don't mind the difference though.
You mean like
I don't think it's
like a mineral, or what do you mean by
He
chemical?
said chemical.
I'm
Now
Yeah.
we have figured out he's getting the pharmaceutical product.
Ah.
That's it.
Right.
That's it. I'm actually one of the
Bingo.
guys in the pharmaceutical chat going to war with these people.
Puba's probably in
Yeah,
there.
Pumbaa's definitely in there.
Do they have plasma on the docket for that
Oh,
discussion?
boy.
That's an inside Pumbaa joke, by the way, for the listener.
Yeah, I mean, Bam, I agree with you. It's not as refined, but the thing that I'm still impressed by this cigar, especially at $13,
Mhm.
it's not harsh,
No.
which is amazing because this is putting out so much flavor.
Yeah.
I would expect this to be pretty rough around the edges, and I don't get that. I don't think it is. I think it's fairly smooth.
Is there any age to this?
I didn't see any age statements on it. I mean, their
What?
their website as of right now isn't even loading for me.
New World Sticks don't really put out age statements, right?
The only one that really does, I think, is Padron.
Padron.
Well, you don't. I mean, they don't write it on the box or anything. It's just a known thing. That
No, but they
age
publish
tobacco.
how much they
Yeah.
age it. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like they don't even publish their own reviews correctly, so I doubt we're going to find with a year of.
How's your burn, guys?
My burn's
Very
brilliant.
good.
Mine's brilliant.
Pretty
as
good.
well.
I'm about a half inch in. It's razor sharp.
Yeah.
Nice. They talk about stacking dimes. I'm stacking dimes.
I'm not stacking dimes. My level's a little oblong, but it's still sharp.
You mentioned earlier, like it's kind of like Liga-esque.
Yeah.
So somebody handed me this cigar, and it was a blind test. I would think it's in the Liga family almost.
Yeah.
You know, like something they came out with, something new.
Similar DNA makes
Yeah.
sense.
So you know what's interesting? I finally got this to load. Some of the things that I noticed earlier. Number one, obviously, this cigar is named after the creator of Leaf by Oscar, which is a guy named Oscar Valladares, which is the name of the cigar, the Valladares. And the reason why they put the leaf on the outside of the cigar is they say to ensure maximum freshness. So I guess they kind of view that as a barrier to humidity, serious humidity fluctuation. They're kind of viewing that outside leaf as a humidity
Barrier.
protector.
Yeah. As a supply chain guy, I'm looking at this saying, yeah, genius. You don't have to pay for cello. All your raw materials are right there already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like that. It's all they used all organic material. I mean,
That's true.
The burlap, and
yeah.
the leaf on it instead of using like a plastic, like a cellophane wrapper on it.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool.
They offer a lot of different varieties. So they offer a Connecticut, a Corojo, a Sumatra, and a Maduro. So we're smoking the
Yeah.
Maduro, but they have 4 different lines, and there's a ton of sizes in each of these lines that they have. I mean, they have torpedoes, they have Gordos, they have a Robusto 5x50. They have a Lancero, boys, 7x38.
See, I'd like to try that.
The Gordo,
they
I'm not
didn't-
interested
They didn't have
in.
it. Didn't this company start out of Pittsburgh? Or they were based in Pittsburgh. I think I read that somewhere.
It's very possible. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm. This is a very interesting cigar so far. I don't even know kind of where to place it as far as New World cigars go. I'm kind of at a little bit of a loss right now. I'm enjoying it, but I'm not able to point really where it kind of fits for me.
I don't know. I mean,
You know what it is? When you get a cigar that's like $13 and you get this much flavor out of it,
yeah, you kind
you're
of
kind
don't,
of at a loss for words.
or you just don't question it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the first third is phenomenal. I think it's we all like a full
Yeah.
flavored cigar. You get like the deep chocolate notes, a lot of spice in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I said before, did I say it was Ecuadorian or Honduran?
Ecuador.
I was wrong. So the wrapper is Nicaraguan on this Maduro, and the binder and filler are from Honduras,
Makes all
which
the
is pretty
difference.
cool.
Yeah,
I mean, it's definitely.
makes sense now.
It makes a lot of sense as far as the interesting flavor of this. I don't know a cigar that we've talked about a blend like that.
We haven't really smoked
A
many
Honduran-
Honduran
Yeah.
cigars.
No, we haven't
Honduran-
smoked a ton of Honduran
None.
stuff.
None.
Whatever they did, they got the mix pretty well pat down. I mean, this is,
It's enjoyable.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Grinder you like it because you don't like heavy flavor, like full-bodied cigars that much.
Yeah, I like big flavor, but not big punch.
Not strength.
Yeah.
Do you like the Liga?
I love Liga.
Yeah.
Ah,
I love
So
Liga.
that's why you like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you said it's Liga-esque, I was,
That
Yeah.
was,
my heart was singing.
I've said this before, but that was a special night. That was a great night. That Liga 9 really hit a home run.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've purchased a couple of boxes since then.
Oh, yeah.
So, Bam, you said you have had this
I
before,
have. Yeah.
and it wasn't that memorable, or
It was okay. I mean, it's kind of like what I'm remembering now.
Yeah.
Getting now. It's flavorful and good combustion.
I'm getting more enjoyment, just as much enjoyment from the aroma because there's so much smoke coming out of it. I'm just like enveloping myself in this.
Yeah, it's nice and cloudy in here.
And God, that ash is wonderful.
There's just I'm really trying to figure out where I stand on this cigar.
I'm right there with you, man.
I think I'm figuring out why I'm slightly pulling back a bit how I feel about this stick. The flavor is really prominent, really potent. But there's something missing to bring these flavors together, like a creaminess that would somehow just bring these all together. I just, for me, the finish is very abrupt.
You mean it stops then? For you?
Yeah, it just like I get this blast of flavor, and then the finish just kind of stops.
it doesn't.
I
it
don't.
doesn't
It's not like
linger-
this
doesn't
velvet
linger.
nature of it that like coats my mouth, and I'm sitting there saying, "Oh wow, I'm still getting all the flavors." Like You draw it, you take in a lot of flavor, and then at the snap of a finger, it's just gone.
Yeah.
That's
There's a
very
bit-
short finish. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bit of a cliff, and it. I mean, I don't mind that too much. The cliff, the after, flavor. What's the? I mean, the finish is, it's abrupt, but it's not just abrupt. It's a little sharp and
It is
bitter.
a bit sharp. Yeah.
I think what Senator said is interesting. Like normally we'll say a cigar is earthy, or it's creamy, or it's sweet, or it's got baking, some sort of component to baking flavors. I can't really point to anything that, to your point, that's kind of wrapping this up in a nice present and putting a bow on it. Like it's missing that bow.
Well, it's missing a note, right? So you can't put your finger on a note.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
There's kind of like a minerality in a way.
There's
like
no doubt about that.
metallic on the finish.
Metallic's a good word.
Yeah.
Like an aluminum.
Yeah, I'm getting more stainless steel.
Yeah, I'm kind of up in the air on this.
You know
what?
the tequila washes it down.
I was going to say,
nicely.
what I'm not up on the air? You know what I'm not up in the air on is our tequila.
Absolutely not.
So, Senator, you have the bottle there. I don't want to mess this up. Could we say exactly what we're drinking? Because this is a Chef Ricky Camacho special, actually directly from Chef Ricky Camacho.
So it's the Tapatio Excelencia Gran Reserva Extra Añejo.
And it is.
Oh yeah.
It's definitely extra añejo.
Oh yeah.
You can taste that age on it.
I haven't given it a.
Oh, I mean, the spirit in the bottle, it's like almost as dark as the cigar.
Yeah,
crazy.
it looks like a bourbon.
Yeah.
It's a Maduro
The
tequila.
aroma. Oh my god, the nose on this is phenomenal.
It is.
That's the one thing that Ricky is very adamant about when we've had this with him, which was then what prompted us begging him to source some of this for it, because it's very hard to find, is sticking your nose fully in the glass. He's very adamant about that. I almost wish he was here tonight to talk to us about it. He'll be here soon, but it's
Wow.
a very full experience.
It's complex too because there's a little bit of a fruit note in there. It's really quite nice.
And remember, sip it with your,
Wow.
aerate it with your mouth open as you're taking it in.
Thanks, guys.
I'm trying to do what Ricky told me to do. So this is an expensive bottle. I think we paid $120 for each of these,
Yep.
right, Senator?
Yeah.
He was so kind to get us a case. This is definitely, I don't know what the proof on it is. I didn't look before.
It's only 40. I actually just looked at that.
So it's a very intense flavor for only 40 proof.
Agree.
Because if you told me to take a guess at what the proof was, I would say 55.
I wouldn't
60.
go that high. I would have said like 45, 48.
Okay.
But to your point, there's so much flavor in this. You would expect this to be a higher spirit,
It
a higher proof spirit.
It packs a punch.
Yeah.
It really does. But it's still in a delicious way.
Agree.
Yeah.
How does it pair with the cigar?
I think
it's helping it.
perfectly.
It's helping the
Excellent.
cigar for me.
It does wash away that minerally finish, and I think it works well.
It adds that smoothness that maybe is lacking.
For me, the thing is, I mean, if we were to do almost any other tequila with this cigar, which is putting out a ton of flavor, I don't think most would hold up. I mean, this is like a really full cigar, and this is as full and rich of a tequila as you can buy.
Very well
An
said.
extra añejo. So I think the pairing is perfect.
Yeah,
honestly.
it goes
some
great.
of the reviews that I read, they paired it with a bourbon.
That would fit.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I think this flavor wise is, I'm glad we're doing the extra añejo tonight, because it's definitely flavor wise. It is a good complement to the cigar, or vice versa. It's definitely working for sure.
I kind of like the burlap wrapper. 'cause
How'd you take the burlap band
It's
off?
easy. It's easy.
The
as
band,
hell
you
to
mean?
take. Yeah, sorry.
It's okay.
It's easy to take off. It just kind of falls apart.
I don't like touching anything fuzzy on my cigar. I'm sorry, it just feels weird to have
Hey,
a
mom,
burlap.
mom, I want to keep my food apart, mom.
Little OCD from Senator tonight.
I just like a nice smooth band that's really well done. I mean, you look at the print work, the artwork on that band. I mean, it's like a joke.
Yeah.
My son could probably draw that, and he's a few months old. I mean, it's not.
It's almost intentionally archaic in the way
It almost,
it's drawn.
it's kind of like what you would see like on an old like Mark Twain or like,
Or almost like a hieroglyphic or
yeah,
something.
it's like,
in a
it's
cave.
very, very basic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a little bit on Tapatio Excelencia, just for a moment, that Ricky sent me. It comes from the Jalisco region in Mexico. It's cooked in stone and brick ovens. It's extracted with a tahona, as we discussed with Ricky quite a bit. It's fermented in wood fermentation tanks. There are absolutely zero additives, which is great. It's distilled twice in copper pot stills, and it is aged in ex-bourbon barrels. And again, no additives. So that's something that Ricky is very, very specific about with us. It's, really only drinking tequila that doesn't have additives. That's the real deal stuff. And this is definitely one of them.
Especially with this much flavor, for there to be no additives. I mean, one of the things that is really frustrating just as a consumer of spirits, and I'm going to bring up rum for a second because this is where it's the most egregious. I mean, any of those heavily aged rums, like this is a heavily aged tequila and Extra Añejo, those rums, the same color, they're really dark like this, but they're full of additives. Like there's
A lot of
so
sugar.
much sugar. Exactly.
Yeah.
To kind of mask any of the imperfections and to deliver this much flavor so smoothly with nothing added to mask any imperfections, a world of credit.
Absolutely.
And I think as it's opening up, so none of us have ice in it. That's, let's be clear on that. That's another Ricky thing, especially with an Extra Añejo like this. We have no ice in it.
I think you get to appreciate it without the ice.
Yeah, and
it's
it's a cigar and a spirit, a spirit that is this well crafted
and flavorful.
You don't need it.
No.
There's no rough edges.
Little
it's not
injustice
harsh.
by putting a piece of ice in there.
It's kind of thematic with the cigar, though.
Yeah.
Because here it is, in the raw, right?
I saw the finger shake.
Well, there's a beautiful white ash building on this cigar, and here I was optimistic that it would hold, and it went all over the place.
Oh, it's the cigar's fault.
Oh, that's for sure.
That's poor cigar management.
Senator doesn't do that much, so I'm glad to see him ash all over the place.
That's how we know it's the cigar's
You are
fault.
fucking right. That never happens.
Also,
I do it about twice a sitting.
It's
So.
it's Oscar's fault.
It's I can't believe, busting Senator, but I can't believe that. What is this? An inch and a half in? I mean,
you better ash that.
Yeah, trust me.
phenomenal.
You see how easily it came off? Yeah.
I wonder. Now, there's two questions I have. Is it you went to the B&M and picked these up today? Was it a product of their humidity situation that it is that excellent, or is the outside leaf really doing
it's a
justice?
Product of me dry boxing it.
Yeah, it's only for 24 hours though. I mean, it's
Nobody knows that. Just you.
just roll with it.
Try to give me some credit.
I'm wondering if the leaf actually did anything, or if the B&M just kept them very well, because these are really, really well kept.
They're not wet.
Yeah, they're not wet.
So I asked the guy, I said, what do you keep the RH and the temperature at? He had no clue. He's like, well, the owners come and they set it up. I'm like, don't you have a hygrometer that I can just see what it's kept at?
Just fill the bucket.
Yeah.
Well, whatever they're doing, it's working. Or Oscar has a brilliant idea with this outside leaf, because for having purchased these at a B&M yesterday, they're really in tip-top shape.
So I have a question. Do all of the cigars they make come wrapped in a leaf like this? Oh, wow. Everything.
I believe so, yeah.
At least this line does. Definitely the Leaf by Oscar line. They have a couple different cigars, but definitely this entire line all come wrapped in a leaf.
And it's not that new. I'm sorry, Ben. I think it's been out for at least 10 years.
Yeah, they've been around for quite some time. I'm not exactly sure the start date, but they've been around for quite some time. I've seen them a lot, and I always think that they're kind of like like we joked about the Culebra from Partagas when we did that cigar so long ago. Like It's kind of like, it seems gimmicky, but as of right this second, I got to give them credit. Whatever they're doing is working.
This is
So I can't take anything away from it.
Yeah.
I liked your residual stay from Cuba with the pronunciation of Partagas.
Partagas.
You got to
I'm working on that. I'm working on that Duolingo, baby.
It's called
Roll
a
the
Cuban
R.
hangover.
You got to roll that R, baby.
Partagas.
Partagas.
That's how they pronounce it there on the islands.
Can you do it again?
Partagas.
Partagas.
The accent on the third A.
Yeah, it's unusual. I got to back up what a few of you have said. I can't capture a note on this. I'm not sure if it's cocoa, coffee, earth.
But that's why I'm saying, I mean,
it's not
we're all the
repulsive in any way, right?
Yeah, no.
But
No,
it's
no.
very smokable.
It's keeping my interest for
Yes.
sure.
But
yeah,
why, we don't know.
Because it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, Bam is saying the same thing I was. Like, this is what is odd about this cigar. The flavor notes
They're not. It's
are
weird.
all things that we like, but none has a long enough finish to really say, like, I'm getting a lot of cocoa or a lot of earth. I'm getting just a little bit of a bunch of flavors that I generally like, but not one of them is pronounced enough or has a long enough finish like I would seek to really define the cigar, right? Like most sticks, you would say like a Padron, you would say, you know, it's got cocoa and earthy notes. The finish, though, is heavy on the cocoa side, right? The earth is just there, kind of adding complexity to that stick. I don't know what to say the dominant note in this cigar is.
Totally agree.
And the word muddled has been used before with other cigars that have performed kind of similarly to this. But what's I think keeping my interest is the combustion, the draw is great.
Yeah,
And the body of it.
I don't want to use the word muddled because to me that has a negative connotation.
True, that's true.
To me, this is more of you know, to kind of piggyback on everybody here. This is almost like a potpourri of flavors. Like Senator said, you can't really pick one out. It's interesting. I don't know if I would say it's delicious. I would say it's satisfying me, but
yeah,
you know, there's not one or two or three things that I'm really able to call out like we normally are.
Yeah.
I think the spice note is consistent.
This is true.
That's coming through from the beginning till now.
I'm getting a saltiness now at this point.
Oh, the Cuban twang.
The Honduran twang.
No.
We got to print more shirts.
We got to print more shirts.
Got
a
Honduran
twang.
twang.
There you go. Yeah, this is reminding me of some of the better tatuajes I've had.
Yeah.
Well, it's
It's
a
right.
great
Yeah.
comparison.
It's got a little tatuaje
Great
thing
Yeah.
because I've always felt like that with tatuaje. I mean, even the Petit Cazadores, which we love, we did on the podcast. We need to do more tat, but
Hold on. That had a lot more
no,
flavor.
but no.
That
But what I'm
was
saying,
delicious.
no. What I'm saying about the Petit Cazadores, it is delicious, but to me, even with that cigar, it is similar in flavor profile in that there's not one dominant note that jumps at you that I can point at you and say, "What does a Petit Cazadores taste like?"
Rooster,
I don't know.
you want to go?
Yeah. Well, to me, I mean, this is like a big brother of the Cazadores.
I agree. I think it's right in line with that.
I like the tattoo
What?
comparison a lot.
Yeah.
It's a great comparison. But the Petit... No.
What? That's great.
Yeah.
No. Hold on.
It's like I say it no.
Let me step it
Rooster
back.
says it no. Senator third. Okay. We got
The
it.
Petit Cazadores, I had great earth notes, a lot of chocolate and coffee, very distinct. That's not distinct. It's not distinct here.
I think this is right in line with that cigar. I'm sorry.
But that's
Yeah,
see,
it
this
could
is
be.
why I love this discussion
could be.
because we're like really lasering in on the flavor.
Because
And-
we can't capture the flavor.
But that's the point. So, like, I think what we're saying is in common with that tatuaje, the Petit Cazadores, is that the flavor notes are similar in terms of what's present on each. I think what Bam is saying is on the Petit Cazadores, there's a longer finish with those. It's like a richer, more concentrated experience where, again, I think the finish on this cigar is just pretty short.
It is.
Where you just get these flavors and then they're gone and you're trying to figure out in your head exactly what stood out most
Right.
and you're not left with anything long enough to figure that out.
Right.
Yeah. I think the other thing I would say is I feel like a part of my tongue has been like left out of the party. Like there's only certain aspects of my tongue, like normally when I have a cigar, like it's a very full experience in my mouth. Even a very simple Cuban cigar or a very simple one-dimensional New World cigar, it kind of gives you that full mouth experience. This is not doing that, but again, it's not bad.
No, it's not bad.
It's just different.
Let me say that. So there's different taste receptacles on different parts of your tongue,
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
So where is this hitting you? What part of your palate? Because I know where it's hitting me.
I would say it's like up front and to the left.
Really?
What?
I'm also the front of my palate. I'm with Giz.
Yeah,
on
it's
that.
like front and to the left.
Front middle for me.
I'm saying
More like middle and back.
I don't get any. I get
Nothing in
front
the
and
back
back.
for me.
Front and back.
No.
No, mine's like front and to the left.
So
Do
that,
we- do
that
we
would
know-
be a linear cigar now when it's front to back.
We got to get a tongue doctor in here.
Do we
Front and
do
to
we
the
know
left.
who actually manufactured the cigar? Because a lot of these boutique brands, they're just there's a blender and there's a marketer, and oftentimes they take a portfolio of blends and say, here, I'll pay for this one,
Right.
and sometimes I wouldn't be surprised if those blends are also shared among some.
They buy
So-
tobacco from somebody else.
So
and have them
this is
blend it.
manufactured in their own factory in Honduras.
Okay.
So just quickly, Rooster mentioned earlier that the brand originated in Pittsburgh. This is actually pretty cool. It started as the house blend for a B&M shop in Pittsburgh, Robinson's Leaf and Bean. So I guess they sell cigars and coffee. And it started as a house cigar for them, and it's
I've
just
heard
expanded
of this
from
place.
there.
A big dude, surfer dude,
I
I
don't
think
know.
started it.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe I'm wrong.
And now he has, I mean, there's thousands of stores that carry this now. He started in Pittsburgh.
Did you probably built it? The building.
Maybe.
Yeah, this is a really interesting cigar. I think, despite everything we're saying, again, I don't think it's negative. And a lot of cigars, I think a lot of the things we were saying, it would kind of be a negative thing. I'm still enjoying the cigar coming up maybe a little bit on halfway through here, but it is perfectly paired with the tequila. I'm really happy with the pairing.
Has it
tonight.
changed at all for you guys? Or is
Not
it-
really.
I'm getting a little bit of a harshness, just a tiny bit, starting to creep in for me.
I think you're further along.
A bit.
Yeah,
Maybe
you're smoking way too
pretty
fast.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
need to slow down.
Yeah.
So one of the things we talk
Good
a lot
point.
about on this
In general.
podcast
In general.
is value for money.
Yeah.
Right. And I think this is good value for money. I had a listener make a comment to me like, "Hey, I'm just surprised you guys use you index price and value so heavily in your reviews." Because his comment was that should be divorced from the cigar.
I disagree.
What's the argument there?
To me, I don't think you can disconnect value because my perception of this cigar would change if it was a $30 cigar. The fact that it's a $13 cigar means I'm going to be able to reach for this more than I would a $30 cigar. If this was $30, I wouldn't reach for it at all.
Yeah. So our lens is very commercially oriented as a consumer.
No, my lens
But
is
the-
practically oriented.
Can I just make a simple analogy? I mean, this is true in anything. That's like saying that we could sit here and be honestly comparing a Ferrari at $100,000-$200,000 to a Hyundai at 30,000. I mean, we would never be able to like compare those, right? Like our expectations because of Ferraris at that price point are way different than our expectations for a Hyundai.
And the
we
man-
would never have the
And the
same
manufacturer
expectations.
setting that price tells me what I should expect from the cigar.
Sure.
If you have a $4 or $5 factory smoke that knocks your socks off,
Mhm.
I mean, that's a real value proposition there.
Yeah.
And I encourage, I've had listeners email us saying, "Hey, this $8 cigar that I love, you guys should try it." And it's like, okay, that's interesting because it's $8.
Like the El Senador.
Yeah, the EP Carrillo, that we did.
Spectacular cigar.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I had an EP Carrillo TAA the other day.
Yeah, how
and
was it?
it was disgusting.
Really?
Some of these TAAs, like I was telling Senator earlier,
It's a gimmick.
I feel like the manufacturers are just like, shit, we got to put something out for TAA this
Yeah, because
year.
the retailers want it.
Yeah, how about that blend that's sitting in the corner that we don't know what to do with, and that's what you get because it's it's not something that's part of the portfolio. It's not something that's mass marketed to a specific consumer.
It's going to a limited amount of retailers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you look up some of these cigars, I mean, I remember walking in and asking a retailer about a brand I really love. I saw they had a TAA cigar from them, and I said, "Well, what's different about this from the others in that same line?" It was part of a line.
Padron?
Padron.
Yeah, I've had that cigar. It's not one of my favorites.
It's not.
No.
And the retailer had no idea. And I smoked that cigar. I was not impressed. And I think Grinder's exactly right. I mean, I think it's just like they have to put something out, so they do. And, we're suckers to buy and try new things. And so we've all tried a ton of TAA cigars. I can't remember a single TAA stick I had that I loved so much that I stocked up on more of.
Yeah, I never pursued purchasing additional TAAs after trying that.
I had a really good box of TAA from Dominicana. What's it called? La Gloria Dominicana.
La Flor?
La Flor.
La Flor Dominicana.
Jeez.
Yeah.
LFD?
LFD.
Yep.
And I've been trying to chase that ever since, and I've just always been disappointed. And I was really excited about this one because it was an EP Carrillo. But anyway, sorry, I digress.
The other thing, a couple of our friends, Henrito, Nick, and those guys, really like the TAAs from Tatuaje. but they've said pretty adamantly that as they age, that's really when they improve. Like they have Tatuaje TAAs from like 2014 or something, and now they really feel like those are really smoking well. Fresh, not so much, I guess. But,
Yeah.
The tequila is again,
it's superb.
It's by itself,
delicious.
Standalone, it's
delicious.
I just love the nose on it. It's so fragrant. It's so interesting.
There's so many senses. You get floral, you get minerality, you get that tequila twang. It's very pleasant, and it's smooth. It doesn't knock your socks off, but you still get a punch of some alcohol. Right? Like you can tell on the nose that there's some good alcohol in there.
Absolutely.
I mean, for $120 a bottle, it should deliver.
Yeah, but I think if you're finding that, I mean, I would assume if I were to find that in a retail store right now, I think it would be way more than 120.
Oh,
It
really?
is.
Yeah.
It's like 180, 200
Wow.
some
It's
places.
expensive.
That's pretty pricey.
It's a
for
pricey bottle of
tequila.
tequila.
Yeah.
We got a case. You got a case?
No, I got 4. I don't. How many, Senator? How many did you guys get?
I got none.
I got 2. I
don't
thought we all
believe
had 2 each.
He's lying.
I'm lying.
Is lying. He got 2. I got 2.
I have some. I just won't disclose how many.
Okay. Grinder brought up value for money and value in an experience, and I'm surprised we haven't talked about this yet because a lot of us have had really wonderful experiences with the Wonder Truck, and I'm going to punt to Senator to kind of describe the Wonder Truck because I think you can do it more eloquently than I can't even say eloquently.
Yeah, don't say that word.
Eloquently than I can.
He's got a primitive vocabulary.
But it is one of the most revolutionary experiences I've ever had. Tell the people what Wonder is because I want to talk about this.
So I discovered Wonder shortly after the birth of my son normally my wife and I, we love to cook. It's like impossible to find time to cook. And, all you have at that point is like Uber Eats, DoorDash, and it's like the same old stuff. And I just was so tired of it. And I had heard of Wonder was started by this guy, Mark Lohr, this billionaire who owns the Minnesota Timberwolves, the NBA team. And the whole premise of it basically was, and actually how I found out about the marketing is brilliant because what you'll see where Wonder is present in these communities are these Mercedes Sprinter vans that are wrapped in all this signage that say Wonder. And I'm driving around, we live out in the suburbs, and I just keep seeing these Wonder trucks. I'm like, what the hell is this? So I Google it. Brilliant marketing. That's exactly what they want you to do. See it and go search what it is. And what you find out is basically each of these Sprinter vans has a chef inside. They have retrofitted these vans, the whole back, to have a full kitchen for a chef to cook meals. And the idea is that you can, on demand on an app, they have countless different restaurants and cuisines. And they actually partner with really well-known chefs in a bunch of different cities around the country to kind of bring a restaurant that maybe is in San Francisco or in Chicago to you in New Jersey or Florida, wherever you are. And so you can pick these different cuisines, you hit order, the truck pulls up, parks right outside your house. The chef cooks the meal fresh right there. I wonder all the ingredients are fresh, and they hand deliver it to your door, hot and ready to eat. Now, I was super skeptical at first. I'm like,
of course. I mean, it sounds
too good to be
ridiculous.
true.
I mean,
I'm
it
like,
sounds ridiculous.
There's no way. They're claiming it's restaurant quality meals made in a van. I'm like, there's no way this is possible. And I was so surprised. I mean, the first meal I got, everything was excellent. I almost thought it was a fluke. I was like, I have to order this again. Surely this is not going to happen twice. And every time I've ordered from there, I mean, pretty much everything has just been spot on. And they're really, the thing that impresses me most about them, they're a growing company and they're doing this really well as it is, but they're trying to improve and optimize how they do this. And their commitment to feedback is unparalleled. Every time you place an order from Wonder, if you give them feedback, they have this whole survey, and it's not just how did you like your meal? They want to know everything. How was the freshness of the meal? How was the temperature of the meal? What could we have done differently with this ingredient? All these crazy questions. And every time you fill out one, they give you a $5 credit to add to your next order to take off. And they genuinely really, really want to just get this right. So it's been a godsend. I started singing the praises of this. I think some of the guys thought I was a little nuts, which I would too. I mean, I was skeptical as it is. I
It
think
sounds so ridiculous.
It does. I think Gizmo was next to try it, and you've loved it.
Well, so to your point, so it's only in limited areas right now. So at my house, I live about 20 minutes from where we record here at the lounge, which is pretty close to Senator and some of the other guys in the room. But they don't serve my house yet where I live. But they do serve this lounge. So my address in Wonder is the address of this lounge.
I
in
just
Hawthorne,
love
New Jersey.
coming into the lounge parking lot and seeing the Wonder truck every other time I show up.
Gizmo must be here.
Oh, Giz is here.
So
All right.
I had to come, and I was here to set up for the pod tonight, put up the mics and everything, and I was running late today. I had a crazy day. Ended up a little different than I thought it would prior to recording, and I was starving. I hadn't eaten anything all day, and Senator, I don't know if you know some of the restaurants, but the one that I order, so what they do is they license the menu from different popular restaurants around the country. So the one I'm always ordering from is the Bobby Flay Steakhouse, which I've actually been to the Bobby Flay Steakhouse in Atlantic City, and I think the Wonder Truck does a better job, honestly, because it's cooked perfectly every time, and it's so reasonable.
It looks amazing.
That's the thing that's incredible to me is how reasonable it is.
Yeah.
I got a 10-ounce filet today and a side of asparagus, and they throw these chips with a cool dip in there too.
That's cool.
It cost me $65.
That's
total.
Awesome.
And I give you credit because I had tried a ton of the restaurants on Wonder. I had never tried the Bobby Flay Steakhouse, and that's the most expensive one on there. And they claim that they're going to deliver a steakhouse quality steak. Again, the skeptic in me, I'm saying there's no way that in a van they're going to be able to make a steakhouse quality steak. So I was at the lounge the first time Gizmo ordered this, and I was so glad he did because I wasn't willing to take this leap. And I see they bring this in. When you order from that restaurant in particular, they actually bring real plates, silverware, everything. You need nothing.
It's almost like, sorry to interrupt, but it's almost like you're in a hotel and you order room service at a high-end hotel.
Yep.
And they bring the little plastic lids. It's rubber banded down like it's totally ready to be consumed, and it's perfectly cooked.
What's cool?
And the presentation's fantastic.
What's cool about that is I have teenagers at home, so they're demanding, right? They want specific foods. They've got everything a kid would want to eat.
Absolutely.
And what mom and dad would want to eat. So it makes it really easy. If you have nothing in the house, call them. They're there in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Starting to cook.
But sorry, last thing I just want to say quickly on the steak. So Gizmo opens this up, and I'm just watching like a hawk. I'm like, there's no way they cooked it perfectly. I think you ordered it medium rare.
Medium rare. And I'm nuts about it too. Like,
Same.
I want it medium rare.
Got to be perfect. And I watch him cut into the steak. First of all, cuts into it like butter. Great cut of meat. Cuts it open. Perfect medium rare. I couldn't believe it. And Giz even says, like, you want to try a bite? I was blown away. It's literally as good as a steak you would get in a steakhouse. They're doing something really amazing.
It is amazing.
So do they mimic the menu of
Yes.
each restaurant that they represent?
Yeah.
So it's limited. So like Bobby Flay, I mean, there may be only 12 or 15 items. It's not like when you go to the Bobby Flay Steakhouse, there's a whole list of items. It's very limited. But what they deliver is exactly what I guess Bobby Flay says that his menu should offer.
So so is the truck like specific to that restaurant? Like each truck would do.
From what I heard, each truck does a handful of restaurants. So I think what I've heard, again, we'd have to ask Mark Lohr or someone at Wonder this to confirm for sure. But what I've heard is that each truck does no more than 3 restaurants, and they have like 15.
That sounds accurate because Bam and I ordered with Phil, who we went to Cuba with.
Yep.
And 2 trucks showed up, and 1 truck cooked Bam and Phil's meal, 1 truck cooked mine.
And you had a special truck for you.
I did.
That's right.
I have a special truck.
So are they actually finishing the product on the truck, or are they doing it from scratch?
I think they're finishing it. I would think that the steaks and meat are what do they call that? Sous vide.
Sous vide.
Yeah, sous vide. And then I think they finish it on the truck. But I mean, they're cooked perfectly.
So the restaurants have to share the recipes
Yeah,
with the chefs.
I think
on
part of the
truck.
license, I think they're training folks. I think they're bringing the restaurateurs in, and they're making sure they deliver. And there's a wide variety of food. I mean, there's Indian cuisine, there's sushi,
There's great
There's
barbecue.
Mexican.
There's Mediterranean.
Yeah,
There's
a lot of different things. And this sounds like a big ad for Wonder, but I'll tell you this, for cigar smokers, if it's in your area, you're at your lounge on a Sunday afternoon watching football all day, and you want a good meal,
Must try.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
Unbelievable how good it is.
Yeah.
So have they? I mean, I know this started in like northern New Jersey area, right?
I
don't know if it
actually
started
heard I
here.
found out they started somewhere much further from here. They did like a pilot program during the pandemic, and then I think once that was successful, they expanded here.
Okay, so where are they now? Like,
They're in like 4 or 5 counties in New Jersey, and I think there's another area too. But it's
Really?
going to start spreading out pretty
but
quickly.
just New Jersey.
Yeah, a lot of it's New Jersey.
They're
right
not
now.
even in New York City.
No, they're not in New York City. yet.
No.
And I think the reason why on that, I mean, just
Yeah,
park the Wonder Truck outside. Every time they park, they're going to get a ticket.
Well, there's no parking.
Yeah, there's no parking.
Right.
The one thing I want to say on value too is, let's say Mrs. Gizmo and I are, to your point, Senator or Grinder, you have a little one at home. You're looking for a meal with the bride, something quality on a Saturday night. You don't have a babysitter. You don't want to go out. You don't want to get dressed. All of a sudden, they walk up to your door. I just had it. They walk up to your door with a fantastic steak and asparagus. You open a bottle of wine. You're not dealing with service. You're not sitting there for 2 hours trying to eat. It's
awesome.
like, it's perfect. You're sitting in your pajamas eating a great, a great pair of a great meal.
So you'll be excited about this, Giz.
What's that?
Get ready. They just partnered up with Belmont Tavern.
Oh God!
I will not be ordering from there.
But
Did they teach them how to overcook the chicken?
How dare you?
we were talking about value for money before, and I feel like every person I tell to try Wonder, they say, "Well, how much is this? This is probably very expensive." The price point is ridiculous.
Very reasonable.
I mean, you would expect like at just an average decent restaurant to spend like 20 something bucks on an entree. That's what most entrees are on Wonder. They also have 2 family style restaurants. One that's like New American, the other that's like Mexican. It's outrageous, the value. It's like $50 to $60 to feed 4
people.
4 people, yeah.
Yeah,
And-
I've tried that.
and
Yeah.
it's like amazing. Like I've gotten like beautiful big pieces of like king salmon, like all these great sides it comes with, like the whole meal, everything's perfect.
Yep.
And it's $50-$60 to feed 4 people.
These are introduction prices.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
They'll
I'm
go up.
sure.
I'm sure they
it's
are.
gonna go
I'm sure they are. But here's the thing, though. I can't get over. Listen, we're sticklers, man. I mean, the listeners know that we're, very particular. We like stuff to be right. We like our food to be right, just like we like our cigars and our spirits. It's amazing to me that in a Mercedes Sprinter van that they can deliver the kind of food that they are. I mean, it's excellent.
What a great,
Exceptional.
What a great ad this is.
Yeah, right. So if really the point to listeners too, if you're outside of where we are here in New Jersey, download the app and put in your address and tell them you want the food. Get on the list, because when it comes your way, I'm telling you, you're going to be blown away.
So you should call them up and tell them
to play some ads.
lizard code.
Lizard approved.
So boys, we're about halfway through the cigar right now. What are you thinking?
I don't think the flavor has died down
Yeah, I think
for me.
maybe the spice has come down
It's
a bit.
to me, mine. I'm getting a lot of spice right now. Honestly, that's at this point in the cigar, about halfway. It's about all I'm getting.
Yeah, I'm
I'm getting a lot of smoke. Like my flavor profile right now is just like smoky smoke.
I'm not getting much by way of flavor profile, but the performance is still pretty good.
Yeah.
It's just very dry to me right now. Like you said, smoke. Like I'm just getting,
Burnt wood.
I don't know. There's still a
Campfire.
little bit of cocoa, but like those prominent notes that this started with have kind of fallen to the back burner. I'm not hating this cigar, but I'm not enjoying it as much as I did on the light.
I don't know, guys. For me, it's not. I haven't had that kind of change or transition. I'm getting a pretty consistent flavor for me.
I'll call back to a word that Bam Bam said. I think now, to me, the flavor is muddled. I think it's changed to muddled. Like it's just a very flat, just very basic flavor coming out of it. Draw is great, combustion is great, but it's not really giving me too much at this point in the cigar.
So what's the
As a
we're drinking the tequila out of wine glasses tonight. What's the story on that? Why wine glasses, not a tumbler?
It's a great question.
Mm.
Senator?
So this goes back to just certain spirits like cognac that we've reviewed several times, where you have just like a really rich nose and I think Gizmo said how Ricky says you really got to get your nose in this. And that rounded glass with the wine glass, sort of like a brandy or cognac snifter, just allows you to do that. I mean, this lounge, we have every imaginable type of stemware, from martini glasses.
Which is phenomenal, by the way.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Martini glasses, wine glass, everything you could possibly want.
A beer glass.
But you'll notice when Ricky pours a tequila or a mezcal here that has complexity, he'll take wine glasses to do
Always.
it, to really make sure that you can fully appreciate
Right.
the
Always.
nose.
Yep.
It's working. I mean, I just did it again. I just poured a little more. And, you know, it's almost like the nose is as enjoyable, or arguably maybe even more enjoyable than when you sip it. I mean,
No
there's
question.
so much complexity in
No
the nose.
question about it. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah,
Amazing.
I want a car freshener of this flavor.
Yes. That'd probably be bad when the cop pulls you over
That's
the speed.
right.
Car freshener.
I swear,
I swear to
wasn't
God,
drinking
officer,
before
it's
this.
my Tapatio car freshener on the window, on the mirror.
The Tesla's driving itself. Don't worry.
That's true.
So the just pivoting again. Sorry, the cigar for me. I just mentioned how it hasn't changed, and now I feel like it just flipped. And what flipped was that finish that I thought was precipitous and stopped now is sustained, but not in a good way. Now it's like that kind of really stringent aftertaste on my palate is kind of it's migrating all over it, not just in one space.
Yeah, I've had that for a bit.
And it's not. I don't like it that much.
I would say so far. I mean, you know, we're only coming to the end of the second third here. I mean, the first half of the cigar was definitely more enjoyable than it is right now. I'm hoping the last third picks up, but
It's not looking that way.
I'm not hopeful.
I mean, this is what's tough, and this is also why you always have to smoke the full cigar. I think there was some episode, I think maybe Gizmo mentioned this, how Cigar Aficionado reviews their cigars to determine the cigar of the year. And apparently they only smoke like a few puffs of
They
the
like
first
10 to 15 puffs of it.
10 to 15 puffs. I mean, if we were to judge this just by the first 10 to 15 puffs, I think we all were fairly satisfied.
Yeah.
I think we would have agreed that the Pledge Prequel was #1 cigar of the year 2 years ago.
In that case.
But the challenge is with any of these sticks, you really got to smoke it all the way through to understand what it's going to deliver, because halfway through, I think all of us noticed a shift with this cigar, and it's not for the better.
no.
Yeah.
We need to come out with Lizard Aficionado magazine soon.
I could see myself putting this down right now.
Really?
Wow,
Yeah. I could put it down and just walk away from it.
I'm not there.
I'm bored.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where I'm at.
I'm bored.
The muddled flavor,
Great way of putting it.
it's not good now,
No.
where it was good in the first half.
Still smokable, but I can easily light up another one right now.
I'm still enjoying it. I'm just I'm finding myself smoke it more because the finish is so stringent now, But I don't get that stringency when I actually puff.
And I think now the abruptness that I have, like when I push the draw out of my mouth, it's as if I'm not smoking a cigar. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
It's like it's completely mute.
Mm.
Like
Yeah,
it's like I hit the mute button on this cigar.
Spot on.
Yeah, like it's
I
like
mean,
I'm
I
not even
just drew
smoking a
it
cigar.
and blew out the smoke.
Yeah.
Exactly what you
Like
said.
it's like I'm not. It's like they put the Men in Black, like that thing that they do to wipe your memory.
Yeah.
Like I have that, like wiping the memory of that draw, like it's gone.
Yeah.
What is that thing called?
I don't know. I like it though.
I want one of those.
So
I want one of those for a lot of things in life.
Oh, yeah. We'll leave it at there.
So did you guys see? I'm a music business guy. Did you guys see that the shit show? I guess it was right around Thanksgiving or so, with Taylor Swift's fans
How could we not?
with Ticketmaster. I mean, it was everywhere.
My
New York
wife
Times.
is a T Swift fan. She
Yeah.
was in that queue.
So it's interesting. I have a different perspective on it, and I wanted to share it with you guys because I thought it was interesting how this is kind of played out. There's two aspects to the failure that Ticketmaster had with Swift fans, and really any kind of high-level concert that you try to get tickets for. I mean, Taylor Swift is on another level because the demand for her tickets is just off the charts. I mean, I don't know another artist, maybe unless like ABBA came back or like Led Zeppelin, that the demand is going to be that high. I mean, it's obscene.
It is insane.
It's obscene. But what's interesting is the failure of Ticketmaster that's valid is the inability for people to successfully get tickets, right? Like you said, your wife waited in a queue forever to try to get tickets. So that's an absolute failure on the tech part of what they're doing. But the business side of what they're doing, where people are blaming Ticketmaster for the prices of tickets to go to these concerts. I see it with Metallica, with Billy Joel, with Elton John, with all these people that are selling tickets. Everybody screams and yells at Ticketmaster, but what they don't realize is that the artists are 100% in on it because it's a basic math equation, right? Live Nation, who owns Ticketmaster, they buy most of these kind of big concert tours, right? So they tell Taylor Swift, venue by us, MetLife Stadium, where the Giants and Jets play. They tell Taylor Swift, we're going to give you X number of dollars for that show. Let's say it's $5 million, right? If you divide that out by the amount of tickets that are available for that show, based on the stage that she put together, how many people they could put on the field, the show, is it backed up to a corner where they have to close off some of the seating because the people would be effectively behind the stage, right? So there's only so many tickets they could sell. If you do the math on it, for them to, let's say, profit 15% on the actual show part of it, it's a pretty basic equation of like what they need to charge for tickets. So then what they do is Taylor Swift, though, or these other artists, they don't want to put tickets on sale for $225, $250 for nosebleed seats, right? So Ticketmaster says, we're going to sell these tickets for quote unquote $100 or $75. But the math doesn't work. And everybody's in on it. So what they do is they put the tickets as verified resale, effectively scalping their own tickets to pay for the amount that the artist needs for that show or has agreed to. Yeah, has agreed to for that show. Let's say it's $5 million. And Ticketmaster ends up being the face of this bad operation because the artist wants to have a perception with the fans that they're able to sell these tickets for $75 or $100. But the math just doesn't work. So it's like these artists will rail against Ticketmaster. Everybody will rail against Ticketmaster. But that's the value of Ticketmaster to these artists and to Live Nation is it's effectively the bad guy that gets all the bad rap. The artist says, it's not us. They wash their hands of it. But they're totally in on the scalp.
Wow. And then her Taylor Swift's somewhat muddled, let's use that word, response was also kind of like, really, T Swift? Like, you're going to play this card? Like, I'm going to talk to the people? Like, I mean, you've been talking to these people for ages.
And that's the thing, man, is like, she didn't mention anything about price in her apology.
No.
What she said is she apologized for her fans feeling like they got attacked by bears to get tickets, which that's the other side of it. That's what I started with, right? The queue and waiting in line and the process of actually buying the tickets is one thing. But the other side of it is the actual ticket price that they're selling this at. They're scalping their own tickets. Taylor Swift is scalping her own tickets. All these artists are scalping their own tickets because the economics don't work at the ticket price they want to have their fans perceive that they're putting them on sale for.
That's amazing.
It's just the nature of the business. But these artists are too afraid to step up and say, you know what? I haven't toured in 5 years. My tickets actually are going to sell for $250 for nosebleed seats. And if you want to sit 8th row, yeah, guess what? They're going to be $2,000. Sorry.
So do they end up selling them for the lower number?
No, very few tickets get sold at the lower number. It's all a game of perception.
I see.
So all these people like Grinder's wife who sit in line and think they're going to be buying a $125 ticket because they showed up early and they got their verified fan, access code and all that shit. It's all fake.
Wow.
The whole thing is fake. It's all a game.
But it's kind of more like area based, isn't it? Like you can get cheaper tickets if you go to Philly, let's say.
Yeah, but you have to figure some artists, yes, they're doing better in some markets than others. You know, maybe somebody who's not at her level is going to be able to do that. But you look at a guy like Harry Styles. He sold out 15 nights at Madison Square Garden in like 10 minutes.
No, I know, but
but
it's also the demographics of this area. I mean, if he's having a concert in like, let's say Alabama or something, is he getting the same price?
He's probably making less per show there, but the same economics are applying.
They bake that into the overall price, though, the regional differences, and I'm to your point, I'm sure the price in Mobile, Alabama, is going to be different from the price in Giant Stadium,
right?
But that's they bake that into the. I'm sure the net, the average price of that is something that they're across all the tickets sold across all the locations is something that is palpable to them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
and
sure
when
they-
Live Nation buys a tour from Taylor Swift, if it's a show in Alabama, a show in New York, if it's a show in LA, they're buying the whole tour from her. So before
Right.
she even starts the tour, she knows exactly what she's making.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, in all these deal memos that they're doing, she knows exactly how much Live Nation's making.
Wow.
Look,
It's all a big game.
if only Habanos SA ran this, we wouldn't have any of these
Oh
problems.
yeah.
There'd be no tickets, and the prices would be ridiculous. There'd be one show. So yeah, that's my rant on people saying that the artists are innocent and Ticketmaster is the enemy. They're all in on it, boys.
It's all about
Ticket-
the dollar.
That was a great transaction for Live Nation when they bought Ticketmaster.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah, huge.
How is that not a consumer protection antitrust?
Monopoly.
Monopoly.
You
Yeah.
know, like
It's actually them buying. It's not them buying Ticketmaster. It's not the antitrust. It's Live Nation going and buying every single amphitheater, buying the rights to every single arena, buying the rights to every single theater. That's what they did.
Wow.
That's the antitrust violation.
yeah.
Is they've gone out and they've purchased the rights to all these venues. So if you're an artist who wants to play New York, you want to play Madison Square Garden. Guess what? You want to play Madison Square Garden? You also have to play the Forum in LA. You can't play the arena where the Lakers and the Clippers play. What's that? Crypto.com? I'm sure that's going to change soon. But they can't play there because they're boxed out. So Live Nation actually boxes them out of other venues. There's radius clauses, etc. I mean, they're all in on it, man. It's all a big game. And I just love that people are suing Ticketmaster. God forbid that goes anywhere, because people are going to realize when all the documents are unsealed that, oh shit, all these artists who say they're on our side are actually totally in bed
Oh boy.
with Live Nation and Ticketmaster. Taylor Swift included.
Wow.
What's wrong with that? I mean, they are.
What's wrong with it is the fact that the artists don't have balls to say this is what our tickets are going to cost and to be upfront with their fans. They're too afraid to have the perception that their tickets are astronomically priced, when in reality they need to be, because they're demanding the guarantee to play that show.
I think you're more of a informed consumer in this subject matter than most fans are. I don't think it'll upset the majority of them. My opinion.
I mean,
They want to go see the show.
yeah, but if
regardless.
you've ever waited in line for tickets, I mean, it's painful.
Yeah, that sucks.
It's horrible. You know, and that's for any show, not even a show where they're playing a stadium.
Mm.
It's for any show. You know, COVID put a real number on that.
So they bought their own tickets.
Yeah, they don't even buy their own.
Yeah.
What they do is they just put a very limited number on sale at the real price, and then they put everything up as verified. So then everybody's going, "Oh, it's the bots, it's the scalpers, it's the bots, bots," and it's not. It's like they're using their own platform to.
So when you get a ticket from Ticketmaster, though, doesn't it identify the name of the seller?
Yeah, but most of the time they're not going to have, when it's like verified resale or something. Most of the time they won't tell you the seller's name if they're doing it on their platform. If you buy them on StubHub secondhand from someone who's actually purchased the ticket, you'll get a transfer with a name. But if you're buying it from Ticketmaster, you're getting it direct.
Okay.
So yeah, little FYI, boys.
Good to know.
Good luck buying tickets.
No more Taylor Swift.
I'm just more akin to the amateur bullshit that I experience at the pub down the street.
What?
You lost me.
Say what?
He's got an amateur bullshit joke that is, people playing music in pubs and
Yeah, I just don't like when people play music when I'm not expecting it.
yeah.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
I don't want to
yeah.
go have a
Like,
drink at a bar.
You mean
and
like
there's,
in our North Lounge?
there's a guy behind me, like at volume 11,
Mhm.
playing really bad covers of Tom Petty. Like, I'm just not interested.
He's trying to make it, Gizmo.
Yeah, well, good luck.
You should support him.
You should.
He's a fan.
You're a snob, Gizmo.
So, boys, we're coming to the last third here of the Leaf by Oscar Maduro. And this thing is flat as a pancake.
Yes.
me.
I put my cigar down and I'm about to light something else.
I'm sorry. No, I really make a conscious effort to always stick it out. I put mine down.
It was tough.
Oh, you're done
don't-
too?
I'm done.
Yeah.
Really?
This is like bored the hell out of me.
Mhm.
Yeah, one-dimensional.
It's the mystery cigar.
It is I think I'm further along than you guys. It is vacant. It's a bit vacant right now. A little empty.
I was talking a lot. I just kind of touched mine up. I'm right there with you guys. I'm just getting like warm smoke. It's really not. It's really not
Warm
warm
smoke,
warm smoke.
as opposed to cold smoke,
Yeah.
which is a thing.
Well, some cigars burn a little cooler. I feel like this cigar actually kind of burns hot, which I'm not pulling like hard on it, but the smoke is pretty hot. I don't know. So, are you guys ready to do a formal liquor rating on the Tapatio Excelencia
Oh yeah.
Extra Añejo?
Yep.
All right, Bam Bam, you're up.
So I love this tequila. It's got such body and weight and very complex. I'm going with a 9.
9. Okay. Grinder.
I'll go with a 9 as well. It's not something that I would try to drink on a regular rotation. Not because of the price, but because there's just so much there, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely a special tequila.
I was
Yeah.
about to say that
Yeah.
for a good timing, it'd be a great drink.
Yeah, I agree. Senator.
This is tough.
It's not tough for me. I know exactly what I'm doing.
Hint, hint.
As he guzzles down some more from that full wine glass.
This is hard because this is probably this I think is the best tequila I've ever had.
There's no question.
100%.
No question.
And so the temptation for me to give this a 10 is really, really high. There's one thing that I'm just having a hard time reconciling. And it's that this is a 40% spirit, but this drinks a little more aggressive than a 40%
Yeah.
spirit.
There's a little burn. There's a
A
little
bit.
Yeah. And I didn't remember it having that. Man, I mean, if I could split the difference, it'd be like a 9.5, but
You know what
In-
9.5 rounds up to? I just want to say.
I know. I mean, it's tough. I mean, Ricky's going to hear this. He's going to be so angry when he hears my rating on this. But I have to be honest in that the singular complaint is it just runs a little hot for a 40% spirit. I say that because we have drank with Ricky mezcals that are 48%
and smooth silk.
and that are as hot or less than this at that level of proof. So I'm gonna give it a 9, but that doesn't change that this is still my favorite tequila.
That's an excellent rating.
It is.
I'm absolutely giving this a 10. It's the best tequila I've ever had. I said that to Ricky when we did it at the lounge here.
Yeah.
When he kind of gave it to us. I think this is a phenomenal spirit.
The complexity.
Best tequila I've ever
yeah,
had.
it
not even
warrants
close.
these ratings.
A 10 all day.
9.25.
Yeah. Very nice.
We don't
Rooster.
need the calc for that.
It's a 9.3, boys.
Very good.
I think Ricky will be happy with that. Yeah, you know, listeners who are into tequila, you can get your hands on a bottle of this. Very, very strong recommend. I can't say it enough. We love it. We love it. All right, boys. We've come to the end. A couple lizards, including me now, have put our cigar down. The Leaf by Oscar Maduro.
Am
Oh,
I the
yeah.
only Jamoke still smoking?
No, I'm still working through
Yeah,
mine.
he's gonna work on the
It's
wrapper
got
now.
the wrapper going. What's the aroma on that one? How's that hit your palate?
Newspaper.
Actually,
actually not bad.
I'm curious.
It's actually not bad.
Hang on.
Maybe they should add that to the blend.
Wow. Give it a whiff.
Yeah,
It's actually not bad.
it's tobacco.
You guys ready to do the formal lizard rating on this thing?
Mhm.
All right. Rooster, you're up.
So for me, I'm gonna give it a 6.
Okay. I'm going to give it a 7. Senator?
Wow. I'm at a 6.
Okay.
I was between a 6 and a 7. I'm going 7.
Okay. And Bam Bam.
It started off for me as an 8 right off the bat, but plummeted to a 6.
Okay.
6.25.
6.4.
6.4.
All right.
So the formal Liz rating is a 6.4, boys. I think that's an appropriate score for the cigar. I think the first half was probably in the 8 range,
Mm-hmm.
but definitely the second half came down quite a bit. And the last third was really not great.
Unsmokable.
So I wasn't expecting a 7 from you guys.
Why?
Yeah, I mean, you sat there saying
mean-
the whole second half that you were just getting hot smoke and ash.
Warm-
basically.
Yeah, well, the reason why I would say the first half was an 8, I think the second half was a 6. That's, I think that's appropriate for me.
I'd go the first
You were
third.
kinda-
First third was an 8, but then it plummeted very quickly.
I'm with Bam. I would
Yeah.
say just for me personally,
First
the
third.
first third was an 8.
Yeah.
The second third was a 7.
Mhm.
And then the last third was a 6 or even a 5, and that's where I ended up at. Honestly, the last third for me was a 5. I'm not
no
gonna
doubt
say
about
was a
it.
6,
Yeah,
and
there's
that's
no
where
doubt.
it averaged out to about a 6.
I was 8.76. 8.76.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a 7 is very fair for the cigar. I think it was interesting. Kept my interest for most of the cigar. First 2/3 of the cigar, I was interested in the cigar. And for $13, I mean, I think it's totally fine.
Yeah.
I'm not bummed out. I put a third of it down. I mean, we've had $40 Cubans that we've put down
Oh yeah.
a third. It's a totally different,
Mhm.
totally different conversation in my
Mhm.
mind.
Agreed.
All right, boys. So a 9.3 for the Tapatio Excelencia Extra Añejo, and a 6.4 for the Leaf by Oscar Maduro in Toro, which again, I don't, it didn't feel like a Toro in my hand, but they call it a Toro, so I guess it is.
It'll make for good fertilizer in the garden.
All right, boys. Great chatting with you. Happy New Year. And excellent night. We'll see you guys next week. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Thanks for joining us. You can find our merch store and ratings archive at our brand new website, loungelizardspod.com. That's loungelizardspod.com. Don't forget to leave us a rating and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. If you have any comments, questions, if you want to reach out, say hello, tell us what you're smoking, email us, hello@loungelizardspod.com. You can also find us on Instagram @loungelizardspod. We really appreciate your time, and we'll see you next week.